You're welcome back to Breakfast Central. It's time for the review of the newspapers, and joining us this morning as the publisher of the niche newspaper, Ikechukwu Amaechi. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Amaechi. Looking
olive in olive green.
That's right. It is what it is.
good to see you, Mr. Amaechi. Looking very dapper as always. Yes.
I didn't see you last week.
Yes, I took a break. You need to rest.
Oh.
No, not another paternity leave. Just my normal leave. So it's good to rest body and soul sometimes. We work very hard.
No rest for the wicked. Anyway, let's go into the newspapers this morning. I'll start with the front pages of let's see which paper we should begin. Okay, let's start with the Punch newspaper. On the front page of the Punch newspaper, big money, small impact. Governors face fire over 9 trillion naira FAC windfall. Federal allocations leap 37% post-subsidy. Spotlight on state spendings. NLC economists, opposition parties react.
Big money, small impact.
Big money is really, I like that rider there. Big money, small impact. Electoral Act, Senate resumes debates today after backlash. Federal government moves to share electricity subsidy costs with states. PDP crisis, Wike bloc plans convention after court victory. And APC unveils 73-member National Convention Committee. Refiners battle crude shortage as Nigeria exports 306 million barrels. Court remands 9 over killing of 150 in Benue. No other country sees daily killings like Nigeria, Bishop Kuka says. Father seeks justice over son's mysterious death inside Lagos hotel. And finally, ministry blames budget delay as South Africa cuts embassy power supply. Shame they catch me.
And there was a whole diplomatic spat on Twitter yesterday.
I don't know if you saw that
Nigerians
story
versus South Africans.
of them cutting our power.
The Punch newspaper is a full bulletin. This front page alone of everything that is happening.
I'm telling you, everything that's going on. Where do you want to start from, sir?
Let's start with big money, small impact.
Exactly.
Yeah, because to whom much is given, much is expected. 9 trillion FAC windfall. And we're situated in the city of aquatic splendor, the center of excellence. Let's start with Lagos, for example, with the massive IGR. Lagos is always happy to boast that they have the biggest economy in West Africa. But big money, small impact. You drive around the city, infrastructure is not so great. And I was going to make a complaint this morning. Lateef Jakonde Road that leads to our office. That name, Lateef Jakonde, is synonymous with excellence. And I think you're doing him a disservice by allowing that road to be in a state. It's dark, there are no street lights there. There are potholes that have been there for months and nothing has been done. This is just minimum. We're not even going into the crevices and the outskirts of Lagos. What's your take on this windfall? And while we're not holding state governments accountable, all fingers seem to be pointing to Abuja when the state governments are closer to us.
Well, Benga, let me first of all thank Punch for that this in big impact, also big money, small impact. I think it's an imaginative headline. Now, and that is true. We have, since the removal of fuel subsidy, almost the FAC allocation to all the states, the money that goes into the coffers of the states from federal allocation every month has doubled. Now, and you ask yourself, where is all this money going into? Most of Nigerians who are kicking against the renewed quest for more taxes are also asking, if we pay taxes, what is the government going to do with it? So it's a big problem. And that's at the cross of the matter. Governance, deliverance of democracy dividends to the people. What do Nigerians actually benefit from this so-called democracy? there are those on the flip side who may argue that even with the leap in the quantum of money that is now available, that in real terms, particularly when you place them
for inflation, yeah, and
side by side with the exchange rate, that it also amounts to nothing, because before, when the exchange rate was about 300 to 400 naira to a dollar, now it hovers around 1,500, 1,400. And then the rate of inflation, don't mind that the government is now saying that it is now 15%. But those who go to the market every day, those who go to hospitals, those who pay rent, know that nothing.
So we cannot believe the Nigerian Bureau of the National Bureau of Statistics.
Well, those are the figures they are reeling out every month. But the reality is that it has no impact on the lived experiences of Nigerians. Nothing. You can't buy drugs.
Mr. Amaechi, we're not even, okay, you have all this money, you're not doing a lot. The impact is minimal. And recently, we've seen the line items of a lot of budgets of this state, and you have the most ridiculous. They seem to be more interested in buying SUVs than fixing healthcare or education in their states. And what hope is there for the people? How do we adjust this anomaly? Because it's brazen, and do your words. What it seems like a what can you do?
Let me explain how brazen it is. Sorry, before you answer, Mr. Amaechi, let me read what the numbers are saying. The Federation account disbursement data showed that state governments received a total of 7.315 trillion naira from the Federation Account Allocation Committee in 2025, compared with 5.186 trillion in 2024. So the year-on-year increase of roughly about 2.13 trillion represents a jump of about 41% in direct FAC allocations to states. When the constitutionally mandated 13% derivation revenues added, total inflows attributed to states climbed to 8.934 trillion naira, which is about 9 trillion naira in 2025, which is up from 6.533 trillion in 2024, a rise of 2.4 trillion or 36.74%.
Look, we are saying what we have always said here. In a country where there is no accountability, in a country, and look, we can continue blaming the governors, we can continue blaming President Bola Tinubu for all we like, unless the citizens decide to own this process, unless the citizens decide that the leaders who are in office, courtesy of their votes, that they must do what promotes common good, we will still be here in the next 5 years. I've not seen a people like Nigerians before, very docile. Nobody takes interest in what is. Instead, they'll be clapping for those who are subjecting them to this level of indignity. It doesn't make sense. And unless and until Nigerians take it upon themselves to start asking questions of what these people, because this is our common patrimony, this is our common wealth. These people are only there to superintend over this, our common wealth, on our behalf.
Your namesake, Mr. I know you're not happy to be namesake with him, but he's your namesake, by the way, Mr. Rotimi Amaechi.
How do you know he's not happy to be namesake with him?
He did say that the people are too poor to organize. And maybe because they're dealing with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, basic human needs, shelter, food, clothing, they can't even organize themselves to say, look, where our commonwealth and collective patrimony is being abused, let's do something about this. Could that be a factor as to why we're being docile? Well,
former Governor Chibike Amaechi of Rivers State is my friend.
Okay, good.
You see?
my very good friend. Now, look, I would rather think that it will work the other way. If you are so poor, so angry, then you revolt against the system. You revolt against the system that has made you poor. This issue of that we are faced with existential crisis of where to get food, where to get money to pay for the children's school fees, and therefore you leave those who have created those horrible conditions
and
for
who
you
have surplus
to continue spending your commonwealth as they like. This is the only country that I know where there is no difference between private and public purse.
Yeah.
If you are a governor today, you treat the resources of the state as if it is you are heritage from your father. It is not. This is money that belongs to the people.
Even the naming of the projects too, it's personal.
There is no difference between public and private purse, even at the federal level. Does Tinubu tell you how much? For instance, who did the building of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway? Who did? Where is the money coming from? Because as at the time that project was kicked off, it was not in the budget of that year. And there are so many extra budgeting monies that are spent.
But shouldn't the National Assembly be checking that?
Do we have a legislature? What we have essentially today is only one arm of government, and that's the executive. The legislature and the judiciary, I am sorry to say, who are supposed to hold them accountable, who are supposed to play the role of checks and balances, are mere parastatals in the presidency. And that is why whatever the president wants, the Senate president already told us that whatever the man wants, he gets. Look at also the issue of this electoral reform, which is stalling in the National Assembly today. They are not interested in reforming the system. They are not interested in giving this democracy a new breath of life. They are only interested in the status quo remaining. So the only thing that can save this democracy is for the people to begin to act. We are too docile. And there is no country where this level of docility persists that we get out of. Because if we are hoping that somehow that God will touch us.
Well, Mr. Peter Obi said we should pray for the politicians.
I don't believe in all those things. God won't touch the hearts of the leaders. It is only the people, when they react, when the government, when the leaders see the red eyes of the people, that is the only thing that can nudge them into doing what is right. But if you are sitting down there and praying to God every Sunday in churches or every Friday in mosque and thinking that God will come down to touch them, why would he? Why would he not, for crying out loud? Nigeria is not the only country created by God. So why are we subletting things that God has given us the ability to solve? Why are we going back to God to pray, to come and help us solve problems that we want to solve?
You're not the only country. How can you be praying for lights so you can iron your clothes before you go to
lights? Anyway, there's certain prayers that we are not to be praying.
Praying nation.
A highly religious nation. I'll take a comment from YouTube, and then just to mention that we have opened the comment section and we are opening the phone lines. The numbers to call at the bottom of your TV screen. We'll take a few calls during the review of the newspaper. Olumide Alade says, such funds are invested in social safety nets, child support, care for the elderly, and unemployment relief. And I believe he's talking about what should be the order of the day in other countries.
Is it talking
he
about
goes on to say, here, 9 trillion is squandered on luxury SUVs and personal property. That's Olumide Alade's comment on YouTube. We're streaming live here at News Central TV Live. Drop your comments on YouTube and we'll take them. And the phone lines are open. I want us to take another story.
You need to see the Federal Ministry of Housing allocation for 2026, then compare it with SUVs. And we have a housing deficit. But let's take another story.
Very interesting one there.
It's crazy, Benga.
Okay.
You need to do that special.
I want us to talk about PDP. The Wike bloc plans convention after court victory. They've scheduled March 28th and 29th for their convention, and it will be happening in Abuja. They say they will select a new National Working Committee and other statutory organs.
I don't think we should continue wasting time on this Wike PDP and all that. The truth of the matter is that we all know what the issues are. Wike is working for President Bola Ahmed, and his brief is to ensure that PDP is held down until after the 2027 election. So it's as simple as that. There's nothing that Wike is doing, and he's doing it in cahoots with the judiciary. And this is why this is very, very, very
dangerous,
sad. How can the judiciary be helping politicians to truncate our democracy? Because, look, we come here every day, Wike, Rivers, Wike, Abuja, Wike. How powerful can a man be? And what is it that is in Wike that will make him so powerful? If not that he's enabled, supported, and promoted by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And you ask yourself, is this how a democracy works? This cannot be democracy by any stretch of imagination. Okay, if Wike succeeds in destroying PDP as he has actually succeeded in doing, and so what? If perchance Tinubu gets a second term in 2027, after him, what happens next? Will there be no life after a Tinubu? And if Tinubu has done so well, as we are being told every day, why is he afraid of a contest? Why must it be that every governor must come to PDP? As at the last count, with the joining of the APC. Governor of Nataraba State, Abu Kefas, I think APC now has about 31 governors.
Yeah.
Out of 36.
Naba Yusuf of Kano.
So, how do you justify this? This is an election that was conducted less than 3 years ago. APC won 19 states. Now, you have coerced 11 or 12 other governors to jump ship. And Wenga, why this is so sad? Let us take the issue of Abba Yusuf of Kano, for instance. Do you know how many people died trying to protect the victory of NNPP? Do you know how many people were locked up trying to protect the victory of NNPP? Do you know the extent people went into ensuring that that victory was not compromised? Now, on a platter of idiocy, you wake up one morning and you're taking that same mandate that belongs to the people, doesn't belong to you.
At the end of the day, that's now the order of the day in Nigeria's political system. Let's go on a very quick break. We'll come back from the break and take a few more papers. Keep the comments coming on YouTube. We can see the comments in the comment section. I have a very interesting comment for you, Mr. Amaechi. I'll tell you when we come back from the break.
Welcome back. We're still taking a look at the front pages of the newspapers. Let's quickly move because of our time, and let's take a look at another interesting story.
But not before we take this comment on YouTube. I want to share with Mr. Amaechi. Someone says, Felix Ikechukwu says to tell you to embark on a 100-day fast and prayer for a solution to Nigeria's problems. And Victor Okebata says, Governor Seyi Makinde told the world that Wike said that he's still in PDP to hold the party down for Tinubu until he wins 2027 elections.
So it's obvious. So anything that's got to do with...
I mean, water is wet.
Obvious.
Yeah.
The water is white. Yes.
It's wet.
Okay. I get your point.
Yeah.
Let's look at this one. No other country sees daily killings like Nigeria, Kuka says. That's the latest story. But I'd like us to go to this Nigeria. This Nigeria is the next paper we're going to go to. Yelwata massacre, court remand suspected terrorists. Defendants plead not guilty to 57 count amended charge bordering on alleged terrorism offenses. PDP, BOT, yes, we're taking that one. After 5 lost years, Onitsha market reopens under security. We do have the video of that. I'd like you to react to that.
And the governor also went shopping.
Governor Soludo was there live with his microphone.
Some designer
did some shopping, bought some T-shirts, to look good.
Last Tuesday,
you applauded it.
That issue dominated our discussion on this program, and I said I supported Ikechukwu Soludo. Of course, it wasn't a position that that was going to get me a lot of accolades, particularly from my people. I'm Igbo. Now, when this issue of Biafra and all that, a lot of Igbos are very emotional about it. But the truth of the matter is that, look, we must be intentional in everything we are doing. Like I asked last week, what is the end game? What do you intend to achieve by... people are more or less glamorizing, today is Nasit at home. Today is Nasit at home. And the way they say it, if you are in the southeast, it's almost as if we are celebrating.
Meanwhile, it's self-flagration. You're losing production. Yeah.
Everything. You drive across River Niger and into Asaba, which, if you trek it, wouldn't even take you more than 10 minutes.
Business is going on.
Business is going on. And in every other part of Nigeria, on Mondays, business is going on. You lock yourself down, deprive yourself for the people who are known for business, buying
enterprise,
and selling, mostly. You lock up your shop and you go home and you are happy about it. What do you intend to achieve? Well, I can agree that when that issue came up, ab initio, it was supposed to act as a pressure on the then Buhari-led federal government to release Nnamdi Kanu. It didn't work. They have gone ahead, they have jailed Nnamdi Kanu. Why are you in that decision of punishing yourself when the people you are dealing with don't give a damn? In fact, now they would want you to lock up the whole of the Southeast for because this is not a country that plans, as long as oil.
As long as you're not disrupting the means of production, exactly.
Exactly. As long as oil flows and the foreign exchange comes in, they don't care. So if you
you think it's lost its symbolism and that time had passed?
It has, completely. So if you like, shut down Alibo for... But I'm not a fan of Ikechukwu Soludo. There are things he has done that I disagree with. But on this issue, these traders cannot, because many of them have sympathy for IPOB. But the IPOB you have sympathy for, they have come to tell you, at least Nnamdi Kanu said that in one of those days in court, that he's not in support of the sit-at-home, and therefore it must be discarded. So who is doing this, and what purpose is it serving? And see,
what was the end game? No.
exactly. So I am glad there is some level of understanding. We need to rebuild Ali Igbo. Ali Igbo has bled for so long. We've lost people, human beings, for nothing. Businesses have migrated from the southeast. And
I mean, even families are disconnected.
Yeah.
The holidays.
Exactly.
people no longer go home to do what they ought to do. And this is why everybody was happy this Christmas. This is about the first Christmas in the last 4 or 5 years that there was no incident in the southeast. People came home in their numbers, and the entire region was bubbling. So why do you want to disrupt that? Let us go back to our business. If we are hoping that Nigeria, let us rebuild Southeast. Let those who are playing politics in Abuja continue playing their politics.
Okay.
But we must rebuild Southeast. So I thank Governor Chukwu Soludo, but I also thank the traders for being peaceful and for reasoning with the governor.
So how can this be sustainable?
How it can be...
Because you also need, you can't have a market with only traders. You need the customers.
Clients.
Yeah, you need clients.
They will come back.
They will come. They will come.
Okay.
This is the first step. Eventually, all these things, Alibo will come back to what it used to be.
Frederick Bobby agrees with you. He says we actually need to rebuild Igbo land. This sit at home is crazy. Still on YouTube comment, Olumide Alade says, this desperation by the APC has turned Nigeria's democracy into a ridicule. Nigerian politics has degenerated into a one-man show. Even countries with powerful monarchs still allow their citizens to decide freely and elect their leaders without interference. Maxwell Samuel says, Mr. Amaechi is right. The people need to raise and demand for accountability, just like VDM called out the governor of Ekiti State for budgeting only 68 million to health sector. Victor Okebata says, okay, yeah, we will have taken this comment. And I keep the comments coming on YouTube. We have
VDM's NGO has more money than that 68 million that was budgeted for health. That's the irony.
Anyway,
let's go to
I want us to take Desiani Alice Maduike's bribery trial that's happening in the Southern Crown Court in the UK. She's alleged that the Nigerian government, as well as the British government, have refused to give her access to certain documents that will aid her defense. And she's, of course, pleaded not guilty.
And the former husband said she should drop the name Alison Madueke, that doesn't want to be associated with her. So I think members of the press need to...
I can answer that one. No, he cannot, I can answer that one from a legal standpoint.
He cannot do that.
From a legal standpoint, once you've married someone and you've taken their name, it becomes your name. Even after a divorce, you can choose not to. And I'm telling you legally, you can choose not to return that name.
But he doesn't like it.
It's not about him. They got married. Her identity became Alison Madueke. If after the marriage she decides she doesn't want to return the name, because she took over his name.
You know I like this.
Why?
So women will say, no, I will not bear my husband's name.
No, but I'm telling you, it's her decision legally because that is her identity. Okay. Her identity has now become Alison Madueke.
I mean, he's tried to seek redress in court. I don't know.
Anyway, we have 3 minutes. Mr. Amaechi, please go ahead.
The only thing I can say on that case, if Iziani is not saying that both the British and the Nigerian government are denying her access to documents that she needs not to defend herself, fair hearing and justice demands that whatever instruments, documents that will help her in her defense that should be made available to her. It's as simple as that. She's already in court, and she has the right to defend herself to the best of her
ability.
And conspiring not to give her the documents that she requires is antithetical to justice. And therefore, those things must be made available to her. That's the only thing I can say about that.
All right. As we wrap things up this morning and thank our guests, let's quickly show you The Guardian and just run through some of the stories there just in case so you can get to see it. The Guardian has on the front page, I will be running for president in 2027.
Wow.
Obi confirms. You know what? Can you just touch on that? Or, we still have like 1 minute to go.
But,
But where? Is it on the same ADC that has internal
Galacticos.
The obedience are saying, is it that you give Obi or we scatter, we leave you?
And that's the ADC that is looking like it's a for party.
The 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi, has always said that he's going to be
President.
On the ballot.
Or nothing.
On the ballot in 2027. So, there was nothing he said yesterday.
That's different.
That is new.
Can I quickly butt in? I need your answer.
Yes.
Do you think there's a form of regret? Maybe if he had stayed with LP, now that things have turned around for better, it would have been the major face for LP now.
The flip side of that, and that's the joke in town, is that perhaps if he had stayed back in LP,
things would have not.
The judiciary wouldn't have given the judgment that they gave. It was because he left that the judiciary now did what they were supposed to do. Because there was no development in Labour Party after Peter Obi's exit that could have warranted the judgment that was given. And that is why I say that judiciary is part of the problem of this democracy, if not the biggest problem of this democracy. So that Labour Party seems to be where it is now is not because of, it is because Peter left and they are now going to focus their attention on ADC. Of course, they are holding PDP down with Wike there. All this is to destabilize every opposition so that at the end of the day, we're going into 2027 with Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the sole presidential candidate in Nigeria. Who does that? What kind of democracy is that? Yet you are saying that the man has turned Nigeria into an Eldorado, and you are afraid of credible opposition. So, which political platform is Peter going to use?
We'll find out in due course.
We'll
Thank you so
find out.
much.
Watch out.
Thank you. Watch out. That's how we say it. That's all we've got here on Breakfast Central. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
Yeah,
Mr.
thank you,
Amaechi.
Olive. Thank you, Benga.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Benga.
And thank you for watching.
And thank you for your comments to all our YouTube commenters. Olumide Alade, Maxwell Samuel, Felix Ikechukwu, Ikechukwu Emeka. Thank you so much. I hope I haven't missed any name.
I'm sure
Frederick
you've missed
Bobby. Thank you for the
Olive,
comments.
no shout out today.
Shout out to you all for being a part of Breakfast Central.
Wow,
See you
this
tomorrow.
is
Make a shout out.
This is strange to you too. As if you don't make shout outs on this show.
Okay, let me just satisfy you guys and make a shout out.
See you tomorrow.